Okay, so hi, I'm Anna. Today I'm going to be talking about the Carolina Core that's mandatory for music classes that we have to take at USC, and sort of just why I believe we should change this policy. It's been enacted for a really long time, so I would understand if it's kind of a little more difficult to change it, but I believe that with the points that I'm going to be bringing up in just a few minutes here, that President Bob Caslin and the board of directors will kind of find my argument appealing and therefore kind of think about making a change with what we're doing with the music classes and everything. I'd also like to say that I do like music. I love to sing. I used to play the flute, like everything. So I am a fan of kind of just music classes if you want to take them. This is just kind of an argument against mandatory classes that I think if you don't want to take them, that you shouldn't have to. So what I'm first kind of going to talk about is USC's music school policy about instruments. So if you take band or orchestra at USC, then you have to buy your own instrument. The school doesn't provide it for you. So this could become a hardship for families and students that are already paying for their whole college experience, especially if with Corona and everything, you're living on campus like I am. So I think that, on top of like room and board and tuition, that's kind of just a little extra cost that you shouldn't have to spend. And with the school's budget for sports and everything, I think that they could afford to, let us take some instruments. And that kind of goes into my second point here, is that according to best degree programs for 2020, the music classes take up a lot of time that college students don't really have most of the time. So this kind of derails the belief that music classes are easy to pass and they don't require a lot of effort. I have a friend that's a criminology major that complains to me all the time about the music class she has to take. She didn't take an orchestra. It's more like an informatory music class. So it's an introduction, and she hates music. She did not take it in high school. Like, she has no interest in it. She'd much rather be taking something like chemistry or forensics or something like that actually has to do with what she wants to be in the future. And just keeps telling me, like, I have to spend so many hours a day like doing this homework. It's so ridiculous. I shouldn't have to do it. But it's required, so she has to. So she was kind of one of the many people that I've had experiences with that dislike it strongly. So that relates to, if it's not within their major, it's a waste of money for a class that they could be taking that's actually relative to what they want to be and what they want to do in the future for their job. And it ends up actually making a lot of students despise music because they're being forced to take it. In one article from Psych Central that I found, a mom talks about how her kid went into college absolutely loving music. Like, he sang, he played the piano, he did all this different stuff, he loved it. But because of, he wasn't a music major, but because of the mandatory classes and the repetition of homework, he described it to be torture. He did not like it at all anymore. He was like, I don't want to do this anymore. They're making me do so much homework and I'm just not a fan of this. So that was kind of heartbreaking for her, because music was something that he was really passionate about for a really long time. And the mandatory classes really just got to him, and he just didn't like doing it anymore. And this is kind of like a playful point, but Clemson doesn't require students to take music classes. And as a rival of ours, I think that we should strive to have like happier and better students than them. And I have a friend that goes there that was like, wait, what? You have to take mandatory music classes? Like, we don't have to do that. So I just kind of thought that was sort of like a fun point to bring up. And another one that I have, a student on College Confidential actually spoke about taking classes in music. She was a music major, so she can kind of speak for individual classes. And she told generally incoming college students, she didn't go to USC, that in order to do well in music classes, you have to really love it and be inspired by it. Because if you're not, it is such a waste of time and will really make you not want to do it anymore. I know a few upperclassmen that are music majors, and if it wasn't for Corona, they said like last year they spent all their time in the music school. Like they were constantly there for lessons, for classes, for everything. Like it took up their entire day. So that's kind of just a side point, but I think that they can really speak to individual classes just because they're music majors, so they've taken it all. And I just truly believe that it's sort of a waste of time if you don't really enjoy doing it. So that was kind of my argument for kind of making the music classes not mandatory anymore. And again, I know that it could be a little hard to change this policy because it's been enacted for so long, but I really believe that we should try to change it. So with that, I'm going to open it up to questions. And actually, do any of you guys take like a music course right now or something that you don't like?
I'm not taking one now, but like in high school, I took this one. It was like music theory or like intro to, or it's music appreciation, and like I didn't learn anything. We would just like sit there and listen to like one random song on class, and it'd be like a really weird song, like, and most of the time I would just like sleep, like fall asleep or like leave early or just try and find a way to get out of it because like it was just like the most boring class I've ever taken. And like if I was a music major or whatever, I like wouldn't be like inspired. I'd be like, I'm gonna change my major. Like it's not, they're not like fun when it's like required. Like you should like want to do it.
Yeah, I haven't taken any music classes yet, but I know my friend took one last semester or the semester before that, and she said it was just like she had an easy like it was an easy experience, but she didn't know what she got out of it. I think she just had to like show up and go to some like concerts and stuff. So she was just kind of confused about the purpose behind it. And that's like a class that she had to like pay for and stuff.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. I think it's kind of ridiculous that we're required to take these classes because I took music, I think, was it appreciation or intro to music last semester? And it's just like you have to walk to the faraway building because it's not for my major or anything. And then you sit there and you listen to random music. And like, I remember like he made us like, I think I don't know if we were stomping or like tapping or something to the beat. And I'm like, I feel like I'm in lower school and I'm learning absolutely nothing.
I mean, like with that though, does that kind of get to the point of is it worth taking any class not directly related to our majors? Because I mean, like for me, doing like film or whatever, like taking science classes and like a couple computer science classes, like it's not helping me in that regard, really. Is that like similar? Or is it just because it's like music that you feel that way?
I didn't go into like research about other ones. Music kind of just stood out to me because it was such a popular topic with people, sort of like even freshmen too, like majority freshmen saying like they hate it so much. But I would say that that's like kind of arguing for that sort of policy change is huge and would take like a lot of time. So I kind of decided to make it like a little more specific. But I think that the general argument that you shouldn't have to is a good one. But I'm because especially I'm a freshman, so I'm taking classes that like I'm a pre-business major and I'm taking like some really random courses that have nothing to do with my major or gonna help me really at all. So music kind of just stood out to me because I am going to have to take one, and my friends kind of just kept complaining about them to me. Yeah. Yeah, and I think like if you, I know that you have to take an English course such as this one, but like if you do literature or something, if you're an education major or an English major, I think that would help you a lot. But then again, that's if you're for that major and not necessarily for, you know, music or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that there are like some courses that would benefit like and help you learn skills that can relate to your major, even though like the topic itself isn't your major, but it just kind of like it builds onto it. But some of these like music, how you're arguing for, like completely unrelated to a lot of our majors.
Right. Right. And there is a bunch of arguments like for taking music classes, like it helps improve some sort of like a problem solving skills or something. And I do agree with that. I just feel like if you don't want to take them, that you shouldn't have to. Like it should be your decision. If you say, hey, like music could help me improve problem solving skills, I think I'll take that. I just rather think it should be a choice. Like, cause like I said, I enjoy music. I like it a lot, but I don't want to sit in an introduction to music class, like listening to random songs and writing notes down. Like, I just don't think that that's a great way to spend my time. Yeah. Okay, so if no one has any other questions, I think that's it for me. So please.